All right. Hi, everybody. Music's still playing. What do you think about that, huh? Okay, we did it.
Are we live?
We're live. We're live. I mean, I sure hope so. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. Hi. Hi. Oh, we are. So, hi. We're in. Where are we?
New Delhi.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, is that the same as New Delhi? No, it's a suburb or what?
It's National Capital Region, so NCR, you can call it.
Oh, right. Oh, this is where the seat of government is, right? The Prime Minister and his.
Yeah, Delhi is that like the government, the central government is in Delhi, and we are just next to it, like 30 kilometers from Delhi. So
30 kilometers sounds like a lot.
That's not.
Well, no, but I mean, I spent let's say I saw a lot of people today, but then there was like even more time in between those people just in car.
So that really depends on what time of the day you're talking.
Surely, yeah.
Yes. The traffic.
I'm here. I'm just super excited to be here. Not least of all because good friends here, including the legendary Malik Gupta and also legendary Vikas, but no, Malik. Yes, the last part was the part I was worried about. I'm so sorry. Here we have you both are parts of, well, first of all, New Delhi, but also the Java User Group here, which is quite the institution. I think I've had the privilege of speaking there before. I don't remember, but it sounds like
you did.
And yeah, I just wondered if you could tell us about that, because that you're one of the leaders. Are you both, or what?
Yep. So I'll start.
Sure.
So I'm Vikas, and I'm part of Java User Group for almost like 12 years or 13 years now. So we started a long time ago. Mala joined us as well. I think a year later, but yeah,
So that's
14, I guess. 13, 14.
for reference. That's Java 7. Like that's a long time ago, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Less than a third of all Javas.
That's right.
Definitely. And since then, trying to like organize lots of sessions, and we hosted you as well. And that was a cool session. You talked about Spring, and it was flawless.
Imagine.
It was fun, and I learned a lot. And today I'm hanging out with the two leaders, what Java champions.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, you could be, and you should be. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you run a Java User Group, arguably you're doing as much, especially in places densely populated as this. If you run a place where people congregate and learn en masse every month, you know, I'd say you're doing more to advance the state of Java and the cause for Java than a lot of our fellow Java champions. You know, you're doing a great job. We should run that. I think there's a valid number, and you're not even in the same company, so actually, like that would be even easier, you know. Like the Java community is strong because of people like you both who, because it's how much money do you make on the Java User Group? Zero, right? Like, or less than zero, right? It's not there's no profit. It's not particularly glorious, but it's the good work that we need, you know.
Yep, I think it's a feeling of give back. You learned it, and when you help people, and there is like bunch of college grads and all, they basically comes to you and ask like questions which we had in our college time, and we had no one to ask those questions to. So that is actually like something good. And when like I go to the talks, I also learn things because I don't have time to go through all the blogs and all, and then in a day I get all the information.
He's the one I know who can read it all.
So we had Dr. Venkat at our last session at TeleJect. So we had Dr. Venkat and Daniel, both of them.
Oh, wow.
So it's always a pleasure to learn from him. And the reason why I joined the Delhi Java User Group was, I think it was back in 2013 when my first book was released. So my publisher asked me if I could do a session at my local user group. And that was when I connected with Vikas and Gurpreet, and I asked if I could do a session. And I was blown away. I was welcomed.
Sure.
And I was made to feel special. And
you were special.
Come on, not really back then, but it was an amazing feeling because they were helping they were organizing a session, even though they were working full time.
Yeah.
And they were really helping me and the cause of like helping others learn Java. So that was such an amazing feeling, and that really made me stay with the group. And since then, I'm trying to kind of get back.
Absolutely, that's the coolest thing. I love that. Right? And you I mean, you're not even you're doing it despite not actually being actively an active Java user at the moment. Is that fair? Like,
yeah, that is true.
That's so cool. I mean, you're amazing. Thank you. You know.
And Vikas is amazing at organizing the sessions. The way he talks about the session, the way he live tweets them.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's important,
the
you know.
Oh,
it's a labor of love, if nothing else.
He's an amazing person.
Yeah, and
thank you. I'm not that good, but yeah.
No, you are. I love it. It's a great community here too. You know, where would be obviously every big city is going to have a good population of amazing developers. I'm a stupid American. I don't know anything, but my sense of it was like Bangalore probably had the largest IT contingent because of Electronic City and all that. But then where else? I mean, is Mumbai?
Yeah.
Or is Delhi figure higher because it's seat of government and all that?
Delhi is pretty much big because it's tri-city kind of thing. Like we have Noida as well, Greater Noida and Gurgaon. So and Delhi itself. So it's like smaller cities around Delhi.
Yeah.
So it becomes a big area, and we have lots of developer and lots of company.
Cool.
There are other areas as well in India. I will say like Pune. Is another one.
Hyderabad for sure.
Hyderabad, Pune. So these are also there. Chennai is also there, but not that big. But Bangalore is biggest. I would say like. Here is the second one, isn't it? Delhi will
number
be,
2. That's awesome. I can definitely feel it. I mean, it's just an amazing community here. And that jug, you go to the jug, you go up here, it's enormous, you know, which is great. I mean, so again, India in parts here and in Bangalore, you can see signs for like learn Linux or Oracle certification or whatever, like on the street, it's like Silicon Valley. It's the only place in the world I've ever seen that, like
definitely you will see that.
I love that. I love that community. I love it. So why did you, well, first of all, like what's your journey into Java? Why do Java instead of like be happy, like you had a fork in the road, like I'm going to become a programmer, or I could just farm geese or something and be a happy person. Like what was the choice there?
Okay, so I think it started with even from my college days itself. I started like I was doing the ASP at that time
before .NET, so just old classic ASP.
Yes, classic ASP.
Fun.
So I wrote one program and like software for my college, and that was all ASP based. But then basically object oriented language I wanted, so that what should be the language, and Java was like cool at that time. Okay,
at that time, how dare you? Still cool.
I mean, like it became cool at that time. Otherwise, it was C at that before that. C and C++, and everyone was like, okay, if you're a geek, you need to learn those. But Java was becoming a thing. And
I take your point. It was white hot meteoric. This is the thing I don't think the young people remember. When Java came out, it was on the news. Okay. Like the news, CNN had people talking about it. It was the thing, Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
So that was my first thing, and I tried to write one program. It was actually AI automation, ML learning, I would say.
Okay.
Like it was kind of a face recognition program. I actually used a bunch of libraries and all, but it was not from the scratch. But I tried to use that.
That's still cool.
Yeah, so I wrote one like face recognition program and used
computer vision, huh?
Yeah, that's definitely. It was very early. It is like way cooler now. Like even my phone can do it. At that time, I was like writing all those programs on a floppy drive. So it was that big. So
that is way more epic. Yeah.
Yeah, it is like and lots changed now. So now if I think like my whole college projects were like in the floppy drive. I didn't even had a pen drive at that time. That was epic. So from there I started the learning, and then in my first job as well, I wrote a bunch of like I worked for Toyota Motor.
Nice.
So Toyota Motor Thailand was my big one first project. We wrote a bunch I wrote some of the code in applet as well.
Nice.
So if you think about it, like if you need to arrange something these days, like drag and drop is a thing. Like if you think about a workshop, there are bays and you need to put vehicle on it and things like that.
Yeah.
And at that time there was no technology which can work on the browser that well. So applet was the thing.
Yeah,
and, I remember that was awesome. And as we talked earlier today, that I worked on so I worked on a like Cisco phone embedded in one of the chat clients. So that was a whole desktop application.
Wait, so have you been at Cisco this entire time?
Yeah, 2012. Like I wasn't Cisco, I was vendor, but I was working with Cisco from 2012, I guess.
Are they a huge presence here in Delhi? Like
Cisco, no. Bangalore, yes. Bangalore, there is a basically all kind of like in Bay Area, there is a Cisco lane. So similarly, like there is an area in Bangalore which has basically the Cisco.
It's huge. It's a several city blocks campus down in Palo Alto there.
Yeah.
I think, or San Jose. Maybe.
San Jose.
Yeah.
Milpitas.
Yeah, I've been there. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that is my journey. Like wrote a bunch of like web applications. Later worked in the microservices as well. There was one project which was basically IVR solution in cloud.
Oh yeah, so like Asterisk or something, or
it was again for Cisco. Like we have the contact center, and
right.
So Cisco contact center. So whenever you hear a tone that your things like your voice will be recorded or your call will be recorded. So that was like the first when I introduced to the cloud, and before that it was like web applications, but it was enterprise and kind of things.
So your career, what you just described in these few minutes that we've been talking, is you started writing rich front-end GUIs, and then you did facial recognition. And you've done facial recognition, not in this particular order, but you did front-end GUIs via applets. You did facial recognition. You did server-side backends. You did telephony. You did microservices and cloud computing. It's all Java.
That's all Java.
I mean, what a language, right? That you can just do. What did you do? All of it?
That's that powerful language. Yeah, I would say like you can write any kind of
software
in it and
make money doing it like you did. Congrats. That's awesome. It's a fun language. If you try, there's a lot of fun things to do in there.
Definitely.
Did you ever work in that SIP? Is it the
protocol?
Yeah. There's a Java binding for that or whatever. Is that?
Yeah. GenIs and all, we call that from the soft phone.
Right.
That was the SIP protocol, and we were making all the calls using that only.
Cool.
So yeah, definitely we have done that.
That's so cool. It's just so. Are you right now? You're spending your time, scaling the stuff up from the.
Yeah, now I'm on the other side. I'm using Java, but from the product sides, if I talk about like databases,
right,
and queuing mechanism like Kafka and all, so I use Java in that, and there are different kind of learning in that, how it scale, what kind of optimizations I need to do, which kind of GCs I need to use.
Did you see the new Graalvm Kafka?
I haven't used it, but I saw it, but I haven't used it. But
that thing is a beast. The whole thing is like, it just takes almost no RAM, and it starts up in it's nothing. And they have a test container now. Have you tried it? Maybe because Kafka is like before it's a multi-part system, Zookeeper and all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can just do a test container.
Yeah, craft mode you are talking about. Yeah, there is mode which you can enable. No need for Zookeeper. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but
and there's a Graalvm image now. Like it's super fast, super lightweight.
Awesome.
Amazing.
I will try that out.
Yeah, as long as if it works for you, it works for you. That's the point. It's really cool.
Definitely. Yeah, we are trying to containerize our Kafkas. We'll see where we go, but we are worried about the reliability in the containerized Kafka because container crash.
Oh no! Well, this is the other thing I love about this is the other thing I love about the ecosystem is we have all these great technologies. I know that you actually have to go, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
I just wanted the world to meet one of my heroes, somebody who does one of the hardest things in the world to do, which is to selflessly and tirelessly and endlessly and ceaselessly, move the Java ecosystem forward in a place where there's a lot of people that really depend on you. So thank you for your awesome work, and thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mala.
See you soon, my friend.
See you.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Sorry.
Bye, buddy. See you soon.
Thank you.
Next time. And now, there was one. And so here we have, I'm very happy to get to talk to you. We have to. We can move this over here a little bit. There we go. I was very excited to sit there and chat with you because Java 23 just came out.
Yes.
Java 23 and
Yes.
IntelliJ,
Yes.
new release, right?
Yes.
You're on the JetBrains, you're in the big old JetBrains ranch, right? Doing JetBrainsy stuff,
Yes.
right? And yeah, just a heck of a week.
Oh, absolutely. So as you said, Java 23 is out. So and yes, IntelliJ IDEA has support for Java 23 as we have.
I saw that in the IDE the same day, right?
Yes.
I was a little,
You mean the downloading part?
yeah,
Yes.
in IDE
Yes.
instantly.
Yes.
It just happened.
Yes.
It was people were tweeting about it. Multiple people were just like,
Yes.
oh.
Yes. So that's a good part, because if anyone doesn't has the latest version of Java, they don't need to kind of leave the IDE and go to the website, download it, unzip, blah blah blah, and do the settings. You can just within the IDE, you can say, I want to use Java 23, but if you do not have it, download it, configure it. You do not have to leave the IDE. You can choose from a couple of vendors that are already there. So it's all done without.
I just want to point this out. Hey,
exiting the IDE. Yes.
Do you ever use SDK SDK Manager?
Can I say no?
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh, because you're on Windows.
Yes.
You have alternatives that are better, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm on Windows. I've always loved my Windows system.
That's okay. I will. I won't say a thing. SDK Man. I know, but to be fair, SDK Man doesn't. It works on the WS.
Okay.
Windows subsystem for Linux. But yeah, it's okay. So point is, that thing is what I usually rely on to get my latest releases. I don't consider Java released until it's there. And very frustratingly, there was like a 36-hour gap between the time when Java was available to download, and it was like almost instantly available inside of IntelliJ.
Yes.
And then 36 hours it was available on SDK Man.
Yes.
I mean, I know how to. I remember what it's like to just download a JDK and add it to my class path and set the bin, export Java home. I get it. I know how to do that, but I don't want to. So it really, I was blown away. The IDE had support for it long before they distribute the feature that has only one job, the tool that only has one job, which is to distribute things like Java.
So we beat
And not by a little either. It was incredible.
Yes.
That gap was so irritating.
And so we're talking about the downloading part of the latest version of Java when it was released by the IDE, but of course IntelliJ IDEA does support the EA versions of JDK well before that. So anyone who's using IntelliJ IDEA, they can download the EA versions and then use them to use the features that we have for the new the features that are coming in the new version.
Yeah. Oh, so okay, let's talk about that. By the way, people are saying hi and hello, and I don't. Yeah, hi everybody. If you have, this is, the premier authority in all things Java. I've read your book. I talked to you about this. You've been on the show before, so this is not news to you, but to those, she's written some of the most authoritative guides on passing certifications for Java, and just generally, if you want to know Java. Trust me, you don't know enough as you think until you've read one of your books, and it's humbling. So first of all, I guess the first question is: are you going to be updating your books, or one of the books, or any of the books?
I'm planning to.
Okay.
But I just couldn't find the time to do that.
Okay. So much to do, right?
Yes, so much already on the plate. So with this Java release, I did something else as well. So I recorded 11 interviews. The name of the series is JEP Explain. Oh. And so we have 12 JEPs which were in Java 23. I recorded 11. Wow. And they were with the leaders and experts in the industry. So I interviewed Brian Getz, Ron Pressler, Gavin Bierman, Jose. And yes. Yeah. And so many other folks, Tagir.
Oh yeah.
And I'm missing a lot of names, but Jonathan Gibbons,
the
one who owns the Markdown JEP.
That was like.
Yes.
So can you explain that one? That's one of my favorite ones, actually.
So this JEP talks about adding of Markdown as an option to write the Javadoc comments. So until now, HTML and Java tags were the only options which were available. So as mentioned by Jonathan and in the JEP, so HTML was used since 1995 when it was a very cool and a popular language. It still is,
sure,
but only mainly for the computers. Humans don't kind of prefer to use write comments in HTML now. They usually prefer Markdown. So that was one of the reasons to add Markdown to write the Java comments, because most of the new developers, they're not kind of well versed with writing HTML by hand. Of course, there's tooling available, but then reading is a problem.
Yes.
So even if you can use the tooling to write the comments for you, what if you do not have IntelliJ IDEA, which can change the rendered comments in a reader view? If you are viewing the comments in a tool that doesn't provide that view, then reading the HTML could be a problem. So that was one of the reasons, the readability and the writability. The other one was the usage of backslash and star in code. So if a code snippet has that combination, then you cannot use that in HTML.
Oh, yeah.
So that was another reason. So that's another kind of way of making it easier for new developers to use Java.
And it's weird to think, because back when we started, I guess the developer would have known what HTML was, but not Markdown, because that didn't really exist as such. And now it's quite the opposite, right? It's taken so much root. And actually, you know why I like Markdown? Because you can only do like 2 or 3 things with it.
Yes.
And so I fiddle. I sit there and like, the stars have to be just right, and I want what if the lines are, by the way, is it // or can I still do star / asterisks and then star?
So if you are using Markdown, you have to start the comments with 3 slashes.
3 slashes. It's a new comment type too.
Yes.
Cool.
Because, so there was another comment by Jonathan that it's not easy to kind of modify the
existing
the features. Yes. No, the exact comments, the set of characters combination that we use. So it's difficult to change for an existing language as old as Java. So that's why they picked 3 backslashes to write the Markdown comments. The other,
is it /?
No, it's a it's a forward.
It's not facing top left to bottom right. It's bottom left to top right.
Yes, this is the way I would write it. Yeah.
Okay, that one /.
Yeah,
so it's 3 of those. That's the other thing I noticed. It was like it's not in the normal stars and bars.
No. And the other cool thing is, if there's anything which is missing in Markdown, as you said, you can only do a couple of things in Markdown. Right. Then you can still use the Java tags. So you can still use the version, author, everything using Java tags in Markdown. So that's cool. So you can use a combination.
Well, that's it. And also Markdown supports HTML. So I suppose this has become my new like Uber format type.
Yes.
But the thing is, okay, so I don't know I don't remember what's not supported, right? I know things like style probably won't get you where you want to go, like the style tag in CSS. You know, that's not going to work in regular HTML in JavaDoc. At least I don't think it will. I don't think I've ever tried it, but I gather you can only do a few things. I just think it's going to be a dramatic subset of what's possible in HTML, right? Like I can't render an SVG probably.
Yes.
Right. And so with Markdown, there's no question about it. I just know use Markdown. If it doesn't do it, you're done. You don't have it. It's just and it's much easier to kind of move on. I don't want to, because I get obsessed with this kind of stuff. This is why I so enjoyed writing a book in ASCII Doctor, another markup format. Because if it was Microsoft Word and I'm bored, when you get distracted, what do? You find something else to distract you, if you can't focus. And I'm sitting there with like the fonts and the, Microsoft Word has all these formatting tools. Right. It's going to get stripped away anyway by the publisher. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just for me, but I get bored. Markdown, I don't, or ASCII Doctor likewise. That's cool. That's a big feature. That's actually in.
Yes, it's a production feature. It's a production feature, not a preview feature.
Yeah.
So folks can already use it without kind of having any doubts whether it would change in the next version or not. So it's already in.
I would have thought that would. Of all the things that they haven't added yet, and the things that they have, I would have thought that would have been one of the harder ones because of all the. It's Markdown. You got to write. They had to write a parser for Markdown and then extend Markdown to also understand Java tags. That seems non-trivial.
So, yes, and as I said, they did a good job because you can use Java tags with the Markdown. So if you don't need to kind of throw away all the Java tags, you can still use them.
And you said there's a refactoring in IntelliJ to take a stars and bars comment and turn it into Markdown?
Yes. So this was an interesting question. I asked Jonathan whether developers should be looking at converting all of their existing comments to Markdown, and so he asked me the question, why would anyone want to do that? So if, of course, the things are working, then people don't have to change everything to Markdown.
Right.
But again, if it's about the readability. If you are working with developers who cannot who are more kind of happy reading comments in Markdown, yes, do that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the tools like IntelliJ IDEA, which can change the rendered view, then of course you would prefer to use Markdown rather than. And yes, as you rightly said, we have inspection where we can convert the existing Java comments to Markdown. So that's a click of a button. So tick, 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 and all it's done.
And by the way, like I like that, and it actually having because up until now / was just it made the line inaccessible, but you couldn't do Java.key things in there, right? So now if you add an extra slash, you can.
Yes.
And that's really cool because in .NET you can do both, right?
Yes,
C#.
Jonathan mentioned that yes, there are a couple of languages which have already tried this style.
Yeah.
So yes, as you said, C#. I think there's Rust.
Really? Oh, cool.
I'm not sure.
Well, either way, it's not very common. I saw it in .NET first, and because you can actually have like whatever they have their .NET doc, whatever it's called. I don't know, that thing, and that seemed to work in / back from the beginning. That's cool. I'm just glad. I'm just really cool that we have that.
Yes.
What else is in Java 23? And by the way, I'm the big stuff.
So a lot of features are being previewed. So as we talked about, Markdown is in production. The other thing which is not, we can say not in preview is, I don't remember, 79 of 83.5 methods of from the unsafe method. They have been marked for deprecation. That means everyone who's out there using those methods would kind of go away soon. But of course, there's a plan which is outlined in the JEP, like this is the JDK version by which they would be you will start getting runtime warnings, and then it would be taken off. So
wait, I mean,
yes.
Okay, but I don't want to hear any grousing from the internet.
Okay.
Because we knew from Java 9 that unsafe was not our friend. Like this is
unsafe was unsafe.
Yeah, we knew that, right? There was a whole stink about it.
The name says it all.
It does. It really does. So if you're surprised by this, then take it somewhere else. Okay, that's great. Good.
The other cool thing about it is if you are using unsafe, as you know, you can go to class declaration and IntelliJ IDEA.
Yeah.
So if you access the source code of unsafe, you would notice that each and every method there mentions the alternate that you can use for that particular method.
Yeah.
So yes, that's amazing. So the source code has all the information, all the alternate methods and classes that you can use instead of the method that you are, the unsafe method that you are using. So developers don't have anything to kind of crib about that. Oh, we do not know what to use instead of this one. Of course, there could be performance hits or other things because we know the reason why people use unsafe or the libraries or the frameworks. But yes, there are reasons to kind of deprecate that. And this is an interesting point. So as I mentioned, I interviewed Ron Pressler also.
Right.
So I interviewed Ron Pressler on this one.
Oh, he's also the genius behind virtual threads.
Yes. Project Loom and virtual threads. So the first question I asked him was about the reasons why anything would be deprecated. And contrary to what people think, like things might be deprecated because there are better options. He said Oracle or Java would never do that. Things are deprecated because it's unsafe or it's too risky.
Yeah.
So when we talk about deprecation of these methods, they are being deprecated because they are getting too risky.
Yeah.
Not because we have better alternate.
They're a liability.
Yes. Of course, there are better alternate, and that's why when the alternates are already there, then these things are being deprecated. So
good. And by the way, I'm sure when this first the conversation was first started back in when did Java 9 come out? 1,000 years ago now, right? Like 16, 17, 18, I don't know, whatever, something like that. Like
14? No, I
Java,
don't remember.
2014 was Java 8.
Yes.
And then
so 17 maybe 8. We could Google that.
19. I don't know. Yeah, we could Google. It's a Googleable fact, people.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. So when that first came out,
Mm-hmm.
there was not. I think there's like one or two alternative methods to those found in unsafe. And I know incrementally they've slowly stockpiled more and more like useful alternatives.
Yes.
And I guess now the reason that they're formalizing these deprecations is that they can safely say, look, we have alternatives for all the things that matter.
Yes.
Go use those now,
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is not a scary thing. I think most people have moved off. Yeah. Okay. What else is anything else being deprecated in Java 23? And by the way, it's been marked for deprecation. The methods are still there if you're gonna.
Yes.
But don't use them. Don't write new code. Yeah, go on.
The other not a preview feature is that the generational mode in the ZGC is like default mode now. So,
instead of a serial.
Instead of it not being the default mode.
Okay.
So it has been marked as the default mode now. So if you want to use the non-generational mode, you'll have to kind of configure that. By default, that would be the mode that it will take. So another interesting thing, I was told.
GraalVM.
No, I was talking with Paul Baker and Monica Beckwith about ZGC and this Jeff. And Paul mentioned that they have been using ZGC at Netflix for quite a long time, since Java 21. And they have seen so much performance gains and cut down on the cost simply because they moved to Java 21.
Yeah.
And
huge.
they said they have been using generational mode since ever since they started using the ZGC. So he said, so this new feature doesn't change anything for them, but of course it gives performance benefits.
It's real, and that's at scale.
Yes, at scale.
Unlike most people I've ever seen, that's a great point. The other thing in that same sort of vein, GraalVM is now an option again. The GraalVM JIT is now an option in OpenJDK. Didn't I read that somewhere? I think I did. So it was in. It was in the JDK and then taken out years ago, right? People might remember.
Yes.
Because GraalVM is not just the native images, although that's what I think a lot of the conversation is these days. It's a just-in-time compiler.
Yes.
And so it was there, but it was in Java, and there were some odd idiosyncrasies. And now it's back. It's a native image. Wow. They're shipping it, so it's a lightning fast thing. You can just enable it as a plugin for the JVM again.
That's great.
Yeah, it's like
great.
It's back. This new release looks really good. I mean, I'm impressed. And I know some of the preview features.
Oh, loads of them.
Also,
which one do you want to start with?
Do you know what happened to string templates are like they're not doing it? What's going on there?
No, so string templates are not in 23.
They're not even as a preview anymore.
No. I think there were a couple of features. I absolutely loved that feature last time.
I didn't like str dot though. That was ugly as sin.
So IntelliJ IDEA can help you with that. So
I mean, I like the idea, but not that.
So we know the things that developers don't like, and we kind of turn it around for them. And if you are using IntelliJ IDEA, so we can make things better for you. But I love that feature. I did
too, but I don't want to type that code. It looks. But the feature itself, and also the idea of it being a pluggable, like that was novel. I haven't seen that before. Like Kotlin has string interpolation as well for its strings, but it's just you can $ curly bracket or $ variable name. That's it. There's no, you can't use it for anything else besides interpreting strings from the context.
Yes. So it was for a couple of reasons. So it's not just the kind of dropping the value there. It was more about the reason why we had that was after dropping the value, what we have, the final string, that could be validated against let's say, a context.
Yeah.
So that was the beauty of string templates. I could have a SQL query where I say, select XYZ from from a table. So when I do that, I could actually check for whether there are language injections with string templates.
Right.
So that was the benefit.
That's what I'm saying. I like that.
Yes.
I did like that. I just don't like the capital letter dot string.
So I think the Oracle team is working on that, and that was the reason why there's not it's not being even previewed in 23. Let's hope it comes back in 24.
Yeah, exactly. I was really surprised. I mean, but also I mean, they slow walk some of these features, but when they deliver, it's awesome. So virtual threads.
Yes.
Every other language had async await for years. Java was like, nah, we'll do something else. And then here comes virtual threads. It's not just as good. It's way better than async await, Yes. Fantastic. Okay, other features that are not so depressing. Like we lost string templates temporarily.
The fact that it's no longer available, that part is depressing. But the feature, I think I
Yeah.
I super liked it.
Me too, and I'm sure it'll come back in some
It's
better
not
form.
depressing. It's not depressing.
Oh, well, the fact that it's gone.
Yeah. The fact that it's gone. So the other thing that we have now, we have primitive data types in all context of pattern matching. So we're talking about instance of operator, or we're talking about the switch constructs, whether it's an
I can
expression.
do case if it's int.
Yes.
Wait,
yes.
I couldn't do that before. I don't think I ever tried. So if I could say
No.
if this variable instance of int.
Yes. So you can switch on primitive data type, whether it's long, it's double. You can do all of that.
Is that a preview or is that real for everybody?
It's a preview feature.
Okay,
So it's the first preview, but it's amazing. Like just imagine you have a simple code like your HTTP codes. So you the error codes which are sent. So you say, okay, what this code is. If this code is 100, return the string value XYZ not available. If the code is this, return a string value. So you would write a long set of if-else statements, but now you can use that in a switch construct. And you can also have guard patterns. So you can say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can say case int I when I is less than blah 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 and greater than yes.
And I think that's legal before. They had a preview as well for that, but it didn't run in IntelliJ. I could run it in the Java code, I think, or something.
No, this was available for object types, the instance types, instance variables.
But the guard statements.
But the primitive types are being added in this preview.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah,
the guard statements was available, yes, but only with the instance objects and instance variables.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah. And that I'm sure leads us, that looks like it's converging towards Valhalla, Project Valhalla, and making that feel more well glued together, the primitives and object divide. Closed.
Yes, it's like we no longer have to make the distinction whether we use objects or this thing, so everyone gets the same status. And do you remember, or do you even realize that you could not use things like long or double in switch constructs before? Now you could do that.
Is that true?
Yes. Even
why is that true? That doesn't feel like it is true, isn't it?
Yes. So those data types were not allowed earlier in switch constructs earlier.
Yeah.
But with this preview feature, now you can use that.
But could I use ints before or no?
Int, yes.
Yeah, and Boolean, yes.
Yes, you could use short, byte, int.
But not the double, not the composite types, not the 64-bit.
Not long. Yes, not long, double, a float. But now you can float. I'm not sure, but yes, now you can use all of them.
I never realized that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Actually, I don't even know. I mean, I don't. Wait, what would I do? So, but having a switch on like a long, because you can't write. So what does that work? Can I do like switch this long value? Case 1, case 2, case 3, all the way up to long that max in? Long?
Yes, you can have a combination. You can have the constant values if you're switching on, say, long L.
Yeah.
So you can match it against a constant value. You could say case 1.
Yeah.
You could also say case long, say value. And then you can say have a guard pattern when L is, let's say, greater than 100 and less than 200. So you can match. You can switch over a long value, match it against a constant or a range of values.
But I mean, okay, that's super cool.
Yes.
But can I, like, what is long dot max value, right? Like, in theory, could I test every single one of them individually with that compile?
In theory, yes.
Really?
In theory, yes, but I didn't really try.
I wouldn't do it, but
Yes. Why would you want to do that?
I just want to know if it'll compile. Like, how many lines of code would that be? Because methods have a length, right? You can't have more than a certain number of thousands of lines.
Yes,
per method.
Of course, there would be physical limitations
right.
for the infrastructure.
This opens
the
up a whole bunch of bad ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean the JDK, this class file spec, right? Doesn't it? Mm-hmm. What's the how many lines can a method have in a Java? What is that word? Java class. There's actually a limit, and I don't know how to discover this.
So probably they were trying out the same thing.
4.10. The number of lines that may be declared by a class or interface is limited to 65,535. So that's well under.
Yes.
max value. Okay.
So the same thing would be to use range of values.
That's much smarter. Yeah. Okay. Bin it into buckets of 100 or something.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's still really cool. I didn't know you could do that. Now I want to, and I want to find a reason to. I'm sure there's some useful options that I hadn't thought about. Okay. Cool. That's really good.
Else?
We've got. So that's cool. What about anything? I like all the stuff relating to Valhalla because that to me seems like the real sweet spot for AI and all this stuff. And how far along are we on that stuff? Do we know?
That's a good question. I think Brian Gates would be a better person to comment on that because every time we ask Brian, when is this feature coming, say, yes, it will be there when it will be there. So yes, sure. the team is really working on features. So
didn't they have a update just recently on the 10-year? No, he did. Did you see the JVM Language Summit?
No, I could not. I was trying to do a lot of other things. So
sure, yeah. They have the videos out, and Brian's.
Yes.
Brian did a talk, and he talks about the state of Valhalla, basically. And it's been 10 years they've been working on this, right? And there's been countless research projects, and I guess they're implementing something now. They're not just doing a research spike, Yes. But come on, I can't wait. Because with that comes the Vector API, right? So the Vector API is still a preview, I guess.
Yes, it's still being incubated. So once it's out of the incubator, then it will become a preview feature.
Okay.
So it's still in the incubation. I think it's waiting on the Valhalla feature to be kind of finalized, and then it would.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, at least we get a taste of that with these smart case pattern matching bits. So okay.
Did you try out the module declarations?
You mean
module import declarations.
I haven't tried it, but it looks really good, right? Like.
Oh yes. So again, I was talking with Gavin Bierman on the Jeff Explain interview series, and he said that was kind of an idea came up when they were working on changes to how you define the main method, so implicit classes and instance main methods. So that was an idea which came up, and now with a single import statement, you can just write import module java.base, and that would help you to import all the packages which are exported by java.base module. How cool is that?
It's super good. And also I want to live in a world where I can write more Java code like a script, right? So classless main methods and main methods that are just void main and var and all that, super useful. But at some point you still need to remember the fully qualified name of a million different types. So now, if I can just say import java.base, I can write almost every script I'm going to want to write with just those types. Like if I want to replace a bash script with a type safe thing that runs even faster in bash, I can do that. I can do it from memory,
Exactly. It's about not being kind of focused on things that you do not need. You don't have to overload your memory with things that you do not need. You just focus on things that you kind of need your focus on.
Right. So does java.base include the Java util concurrent stuff?
Java util, definitely yes.
Okay.
And because we are unsure, like a lot of developers, so once you let's say if you are using IntelliJ IDEA, when you write that import statement, import module java.base, click on java.base, and that, or use Control B, which is a shortcut, and that would take you to the definition of the module, and then you can view everything that the module exports, or if it everything. So
oh, that's so cool.
So you can find out that, not for java.base, of course, you can find out that information for any module out there. So it really also helps developers to use any module out there. So
I use IntelliJ. So this is the other thing is I can do IDEA space main.java, and it'll let me edit it. It's not quite as sophisticated as having a Maven project, but it'll do validation. It'll look at my system JDK. It'll let me do auto completion. I can do refactoring and get type safety and run the code in the IDE. So I can edit these Java scripts. Oh God. Well, they're not JavaScript. They're scripts that are in Java. I can edit these Java scripts of mine, just like I would any other script now. Right. And it's actually, I showed you earlier, I have a program I'm using as a script. It's a Java program, but it's using the preview feature for classless main methods and all that.
Is that the one that you
and I worked on earlier?
Oh, yes.
I use it all the time, and it's and I've got others that are like that, and I just think it's a really nice language once you get rid of that ceremony. And so to that end, this is going to make it even better.
Oh yes, it's cool. With just a couple of lines of code, you were doing kind of unzipping the code and loading it. So
it's all JDK stuff. one thing that you saw the 1 billion row challenge, right?
Yes.
That is, I mean, what it reminded me of is that, like Python, Java comes with a lot of batteries included, right? Like people, Thomas Wertinger, our friend over at the GraalVM team, the lead of the GraalVM effort and senior vice president at Oracle and all that. He, like the first entries, the first 3 were GraalVM, yes, but also insane. Like the code in there is actually wicked. It's sick, twisted, depraved code, but it works and it's entirely in JDK. There's no libraries, right?
Yes.
So the fact that you can do all these you can load 13 gigabytes of text data in 1.5 seconds using stock standard Java code, the JDK is amazing. You just need to know where to look if you're so inspired,
Absolutely. As Vikas was talking about all the applications that he's been working on, all in Java. So Java is literally everywhere.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Java 23. I was so impressed. I'm so impressed by there's all these preview features are they whet the appetite, but I really wish they would become more main. What other stuff is there? I think we saw
your favorite, which is about the implicit classes and the instance main methods.
Yes.
And so it's being previewed for the 3rd time, and we have a couple of changes now. So a lot of people, I think, Python people would usually ask how many lines of code do you need to write the hello world. So that has kind of so we're not comparing.
No.
But now you can use println and just whatever you want to send to the console. So we have a new class java.io in lowercase and then io in uppercase, and that has 3 methods. So that is println, print, and readln.
Wait, so it's java.io?
Yes, so java.io.io. So the first io is in lowercase. Methods? Yes, it has 3 static. Yes, 3 static methods: println, print, and readln. So these are the methods which new Java developers would need to interact with the console to kind of output anything and to read the input from console. So they can use the methods straight away, and of course with the static imports. No, that would be imported automatically for implicitly declared classes. If you are using a regular class, then you would need this imports. But for implicitly declared classes, that would be imported automatically. So again, a new way of easier way to get started with learning Java.
But even just regular Java programmers, if I could just do import java.io.io, import static java.io.io.
Just use IntelliJ IDEA. As soon as you start writing println, it would say import this, and you just say yes.
Yeah. Because even there, like I do a lot of demos like you, right? And I know I should use a logger. Of course I do. But I'm not going to set that up in the middle of a demo. I just want to print something out and show the results, and think about the Vencats of the world. He's out there like using just TextMate or something. Like that's crazy talk right there. So for him, he can he doesn't have to type in all the way system that I use IntelliJ. So I just type in. I get near the letter S. And IntelliJ says, you want to write that, and it finishes it for me. I didn't even touch it yet. It's like, okay, fine, that's what I wanted. It's too smart. Okay, that's really good, and I like these ergonomics improvements. Huge deal, right?
Yes, and it's because when developers get started with learning with Java, as again we were talking about, we don't need to focus on things which we don't need at that time. So reading from the console,
what's a static variable?
Yes, reading from the console. If I can just say readln and then text which can be printed so that I can enter a value which can be entered right after that.
Right.
I'm happy. I can know about what class it's coming from later maybe, but when I'm getting started, I can skip those details. So that's a good thing.
And actually, it's not exactly the same thing. So Java is making it simpler to do this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But Python actually, for I/O, Python made it more complicated. So what they I'm being a little facetious here, but in Python 2, you could do print space and then a quote, like a quoted string variable, no parentheses. It was a statement. It was a syntax, right? In Java, in Python 3, which is again more than a decade old now, so it's not really all that much of a controversy. But in Python 3, they made print a function, which required a parentheses, right? So all the Python code that had print space hello world no longer worked. Right.
That blows up.
Yeah. Now you have, if you're using Python 3.11 or anything from Python 3.0 and later, but they're now at 3.11 or something. It's decades ago, right? But still, in theory, we can say we made ours simpler, whereas they made it more difficult. So we have a semicolon and we have an extra curly bracket, but really the example there is.
Yes, and every new changes that Java brings in, it doesn't blow away the previous code. So backward compatibility.
That's a great point. Oh, hey,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
No, but I know Java's not going to be. We're not there, okay? I get it. Don't at me. Python's still the undisputed champ of succinct. Well, I guess that's Perl, but
right.
But the class API. Yeah. That's a good one. What do you know about that one? What's going on there?
Again, I was talking with Rafael
Halter,
yes, on this one. So he talked about ASM, and he talked about how he has been doing things in. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the application that's it works with. ByteBuddy.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. So now, they have kind of manipulated the bytecode using a lot of workarounds, but now with the class API, that would be much simpler. It would be more streamlined because we are using an API now. Folks can use an API now. So even if any details changes underneath the format of the class,
right,
then the library owners, they don't have to be bothered about that because they're consuming it via the APIs. So that's a good part.
So does ByteBuddy in this situation become just a set of abstractions that simply, because it is a low level, it's like the Java reflection library. It certainly worked, but I wouldn't want to work with it all the time. I'd rather just write higher level code, Is that what happens to ByteBuddy? Is it becomes an abstraction on top of the class file API?
That's a good question. And I think Rafael would be a better person to answer that. But he definitely mentioned that he had tried out class file API. And so he has two versions. So one that works with the class file API and one that still works with the older version, older ways, because there's still the older issue of
JDKs.
Yes, older JDKs, because not everyone is moving to JDK 23 now. So
what's wrong with you? Get on it.
So he said yes, and there are things which are done better without the class file API. So there would always be that kind of fight and pull and push in that regard. But it's like people have to make a choice, and they have to kind of make a choice that makes it best for them.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different scenario. So,
well, I'll do my best to never need the old ByteBuddy. I want to use the class file one. That sounds really wild and awesome. Actually, there's a couple things here that are Loom. Speaking of Loom, right? Structured concurrency and scoped values. I don't know where. I guess it's still previews, huh?
Yes. So again, I talked with Jose on structured concurrency. So as you can see, it's in the third preview now. And
by the way,
yes.
I love Jose. I love that. I mean, he's a professor. He's a professor.
The way he explains things, it's like amazing. It's amazing. The examples that he has, he breaks it down and makes it kind of understand the other person.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is exactly. He's beautiful. So elegant, and his code is so quintessentially just what you need and no more. Don't hurt yourself. Jose's Professor Poma is here. He's he lives in France, and I'm sure he works for Oracle. He's an advocate. He does what you and I do. But in addition to that, he does this sometimes thankless job of being to help young people cross the divide from ignorance to opportunity, and that's a very hard job. It's a full-time job for, except for the superstars like Dr. Subramaniam and for Jose, who can do anything, Like, I can't believe it. I'm just a huge fan. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. Go on. I'm sorry.
I don't remember much from that conversation.
But it's cool.
Yeah. Oh, of course. So Jose did have a demo. So if anyone wants to check out, so Jeff explained by Jose on structured concurrency. He also had a couple of demos. So if anyone wants to kind of listen to him, of course, he's amazing. So they can check out that on IntelliJ Ideas YouTube channel. The interview series. The interview has already been published.
Okay, I will definitely maybe I can download them. I'm leaving amazing New Delhi tonight. And so, yeah, I've got a long 16-hour journey. Guess what I'm doing? I'm going to download some videos. I'm going to download the entire series and binge them. This is better than Netflix, certainly a lot more novel and interesting. Okay, so that one's good. So structured concurrency, for people who don't know, is just about making concurrency with virtual threads. Because it's still threads, and threads are not a particularly fun way to write distributed system code. And so while they're more scalable now with virtual threads, they're still threads, and threads are dangerous, right?
It was having more about structure to, let's say you have main task, and then you have subtasks.
Scatter, gather.
Yes. So if anything goes wrong with, let's say, one of the tasks, and you want to kind of cancel all the tasks because the remaining tasks become irrelevant now.
Yeah.
So that could be done with structured concurrency. The other cool demo that Jose had on the JEP Explain series was you can make it whether you want to cancel if one of them fails, or you want to kind of go ahead if one fails. So that's why. The rules could be defined. It's not just the rules which are predefined that needs to be used. So that was another cool feature that he demonstrated. So
that's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's so cool. I mean, I don't. Again, I used to say this all the time. Like, there's only one person who truly knows how to write multi-threaded Java programs, and I don't even know who it is, right? Like but I just have to assume. And the reason is because Java lang thread right now is the ultimate foot gun. Just. It serves no purpose but to shoot yourself in the foot. But somebody's got to wield it, and I'm glad if somebody smarter than I uses it. Right? The web servers on which the internet runs are based on somebody convincing themselves and the compiler that Java lang thread is, workable. So yeah, I can't wait for structured concurrency. I'm a big believer in structured programming. Okay, and then there's also a.
Stream gatherers?
Yeah, but was it Conway? It wasn't Conway, was it? In the 1970s, was it Conway? I'm confusing somebody. In the 1970s, there was a great paper about how about how threading was considered dangerous, just as a paradigm for writing distributed and concurrent systems. Okay. Back then, we already realized how bad it was. And unsafe. So now you've got actors, and you've got fibers, you've got reactive programming, you've got sagas. There's all sorts of ways to describe systems that are much safer, and so I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, there's scope values, which is you've got a thread local, you've got virtual threads, you can have millions of virtual threads. What if you're holding a kilobyte for each? You've got a kilobyte in the thread local for each of the several millions of threads. Well, now you've got several million kilobytes. I guess it's not that big a deal, but it can add up. If you have real data in each thread local, it could become a problem.
Right.
And then, so yeah, what is that about? Do you know?
Not much.
So scope values with its okay. So JEP will allow a method to share immutable data both with its callees within a thread and with child threads. Scope values are easier to reason about than thread local variables. They also have lower space and time costs, especially when used together with virtual threads. Sign me up. Okay, I'm third preview, worth a look. And by the way, thread locals still work. It's just that they're because you have this incredible scale in virtual threads, you can get knock-on effects that just don't exist otherwise. Stream gatherers, do you understand this? Because I did a video, and I read some code that Victor had written 20 different times, and I got it for a minute, and I was able to do the video. I've long since forgotten it. I don't understand it anymore.
I can talk about in theory.
Okay. Yeah. Because very few people can. It's Victor Klang, the legend of Klang. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it was such a pleasure to talk.
Yeah,
to him.
He's great.
Actually, it was such a pleasure to talk with so many of them. So we talked about Raphael, Victor Klang, Jonathan Gibbons, Brian Gates, Ron Pressler, Angela's. Every one of them was amazing. Dagi and so many names that I'm forgetting. So Victor talked about, as the description says, we are talking about custom intermediate operations.
Right.
So this Streams API already has a lot of intermediate operations. But as we know, whenever you have to make a choice, that's not the only way you make a choice. You have a lot of your business rules as well. You want to do things like you want to pick up first 5, but want to pick up one, the first one should do this, blah, blah, blah. So you have a lot of other rules as well. So that's what the stream gather is doing. It's helping you to define more custom intermediate operations, and it would not have been possible for the Java team to add all of them to the API for multiple reasons. So one, it would make the Stream API, the already complicated Stream API to understand, more complicated. And the second one, it's not feasible for anyone to kind of add all the operations to the API, because some developer would have a different use case to use those functions.
So so we're talking about the things that are like flat map, not the to list or collectors dot. This is stuff before the collectors involved, right?
So to list, so that's the terminal operation you're talking about.
So this is before that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the to list and the to list is ultimately a collector, and that's the end of the line.
Yes, and interestingly, the design and the way you can define custom collectors. So it's based on the same design principle that you can define custom intermediate operations.
Right. Okay. I've written a couple custom collectors, but again, there's that handy collectors dot, static methods that usually does what I want. So, okay. I mean, that seems really cool. I think it's one of those things where I'm probably going to need it one day, and I'll be glad it's there. But at the moment, I can't conceptualize where it is. And also, I don't think the stream class is all that, because if you've done anything in any other language, the things that are on the stream are like map and flat map and filter and whatever. They just feel that feels like about right. Yeah. Yes. There's nothing there that's really all that confusing. I guess if you're not used to, if you're in Java and you didn't use anything else, then that's it. But yeah, but now I'm kind of curious as to what these other things are,
I would definitely encourage you to watch the interview.
I shall. Oh yeah.
Oh, we haven't published that yet.
Oh, sorry. I shall not. I shan't. But I will.
Yes, I'll definitely ping you, because he also
can't download it tonight.
because Victor also talks about the whys of why he chose a particular approach and not the other one. So that's the kind of beauty of talking with the people who worked on that feature, that they not just let you know about the syntax or the semantics, but they also kind of help you understand the design considerations or the reasons why they had this. When did they start working on it? So it was an interesting conversation, I would say.
I'm sure it was. The two of my favorite and smartest friends. Victor, for those of you who don't know, was the ACA CTO. He was, deputy CTO at TypeSafe.
Wow.
Worked on ACA. Like he helped define Scala futures.
Wow.
Like he was building really important low-level scalable stuff for decades now, and then he comes to the Java language design team, and this stuff, collector, streams can be parallel, so it makes sense that he would care about how that worked efficiently and how the API design looked. What a legend. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. These previews are really good. I think it's up to ask not what your JDK can do for you, ask what you can do for your JDK, right? It's time to, every now and then, we get a JDK that is mostly previews. This is one of those. That's okay. There's some fine tuning under the hood. It's going to be better, more performant, more secure, all that normal stuff. There's a few things that'll directly impact you, like the GZC stuff and the markdown things. But there's also an opportunity here, friends, to go through these previews and try them out, because let feedback. These things won't get out of preview until they know it's good. The faster you feedback, the faster that happens,
So this was another interesting point when I was talking with Kevin or Ron and Brian, and they all mentioned the benefits of the feedback which the developers give to the team, and they said they're not looking for things like, because they created the feature, but they don't have the data against which they could run the feature and try that out. So that's for the developers to do. So if the developers could try out the features against their data, the use cases that they have, and then submit feedback which can actually improve the feature, that would be absolutely great.
And it's working. Like we said, they withdrew string templates, they listen.
They listen.
Yeah.
They listen, they act on it.
And I'm really excited about that. Okay. I think this is going to be an amazing release. And JetBrains IntelliJ.x, I don't even know.
So then the latest version is 2024.2. And
Why is it? What is the naming scheme on that? Is that
so we have
February
we have 3 releases every year. So the first release, which goes out in March, it's 0.1. So the year and 0.1.
okay?
The second one goes out. So the second one was a month back.
Okay.
So that is 0.2.
August?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. July or August,
March,
depending.
August, okay.
Yes. 0.2, and then we have one around November, December. So that's the one that goes out for this year. That would be 2024.3.
Okay.
And for everyone watching, the EAP for 2024.3 has already started. So
That's so good.
yeah.
I don't even the
Mhm.
I used to know the version numbers, but now I have the JetBrains toolbox, which they added
Yes.
decades ago or like a decade ago.
Yes.
Who knows what version I've got? Just
Yes.
updated.
Yes. It's
I've
amazing.
never had to roll back.
Yes, it's amazing. Yes, there's an option. You can
Yeah,
roll
but
back.
I don't need to.
I know.
It's just like I use my I mean look at my GitHub
Mhm.
commit. I
Mhm.
guarantee you I've got as many commits as most
Mhm.
people do, and it's because I spent a lot of time in that IDE, and there's never been anything catastrophic, you know.
And it's a single place to kind of access all the tools that we have. So even if a new tool is added, that would pop up in Toolbox. So that's a great thing. And of course, you can you can view the projects that you last worked on. So instead of opening your IntelliJ IDEA and then looking for projects, you can click on the projects tab and click on the project that would open in the IDE.
Yeah.
You can also do a couple of changes regarding to the project settings. A lot of things.
Can you talk about Fleet? No, I'm really curious about that. It has so much potential. I really want to see that thing win. You know, like it was. I mean, you know, I'm sure it's okay. Whatever. We'll talk about it when there's more to talk about.
Yes.
I gotta go just try it out. It's been, it's steadily gaining steam. You know.
It definitely is.
Okay. Thank you, Mala. I appreciate this. This has been a very appreciated, because there's like I said, there's a whole series you just did. So we have to go listen to those. You know, that's 10 hours or whatever of really cool content.
That's I loved talking with all those experts,
Yeah.
and the stories that they shared. It was amazing. So everyone who's watching, it would be great for you if you want to understand why a particular feature was added, what were the design considerations. So as I said, it goes beyond just the syntax and semantics of a feature. So
which one is it?
So there's a playlist on JetBrains, IntelliJ IDEA, not JetBrains. So IntelliJ IDEA YouTube.
Okay.
You can click on the playlist.
Can I ask, what is L? Is that luck?
Luck, yes, because in India,
right.
So you have a different numbering system, which is different from the one that you use in the US.
Sure.
So if you click on playlist,
okay, but we have to come back to that question of Jep explain, right?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see the. Come on.
So we've already published 7 videos in this series.
Okay, I'm gonna put that. Some great comments here from the community. Yes. Oh, so good community work, absolutely. And yeah, thank you, Ambu, for helping us with that. That's awesome. And here is the playlist. I'll just leave that in the screen so people can. It's not clickable, but actually, I wonder if I'll put it in the notes in the YouTube video. Yeah. Okay. So explain it. Would you help me out? Because I know there's lock and crore, and I never remember which one is what. And you know, stupid American. I don't know anything.
So in US you have. So I'll talk about what we have in India. So it's like ones, ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000, 10,000, lakhs, 10 lakhs, crores, 10 crores.
So wait, lock is what? 10,000, and then above that is 100,000, but you call it a lock?
Yes.
Okay. And then where's core? Core?
I'll have to count the zeros.
Yeah, okay, start again. Yeah, sorry.
So it's like lakhs, 10 lakhs, and then 1 crore and 10 crores.
Wait, so 100,000 is a lock. 10 lakhs is.
I'll have to use the zeros because it's confusing to me as well.
Oh, okay. What? Oh.
So okay.
0704.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I don't know. I mean, I want to know. And also, it's like, it's like that in a lot of languages, right? Like where you have a very reasonable escalation of numbers based on zero. I don't know. But it's not like times 10. There's some number in between where it's like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, very cool. I wish I understood it all. Okay. Because I see, like, you see signs like now for you can buy this home and it's only so many for or whatever.
Right.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so this has been your taste of Java and India. It's been great. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure talking with you.
Bye, everybody. Have a good
Bye.
night. Bye-bye. Bye. Have a good weekend too.
Bye.
How was my day? It was great.